We're live.
Okay, hold on. What are we now?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a competition.
Oh, don't be doing that again. All right, let's go.
Okay.
3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1. So, so just like, how do you know you're for sure never going to be an edibles guy and never going to get into microdosing? Like,
The experiences I've had have not been fun.
okay.
Therefore, I'm just fine with it. I'm cool.
Yeah. I had that. I had the experience I had was not fun. And then do you know what I had?
A fun experience.
Stories. Yeah, exactly. A fun experience. It's like if you've never, like, oh, you had that one experience back in the day listening to Ricky, Carl, and Stephen, and you're like, nah, this isn't for me. And then all these years later, hearing Wind of the Cultural Content Consumption Appraisal Hour, you're like, oh, I can't. I podded already. Didn't like it. It's like, nah, come back.
I wondered how you were going to circle back to
You got to circle back. The water's fine. Come on in. What's the phrase? The water's warm. Come on in. It's fine. That sounds low-key predatory in 2024.
Sounds very Prince.
It does. Shout out Prince, you know. Are you seeing the P. Diddy allegations?
No.
Let's start the show. You did it. You're here. It's the year 2024. It's yet another episode of your favorite show. Or if it's your first show, your soon-to-be favorite show. Because that's right. You are a newbie, but you are about to be introduced so smoothly, so friendly are we that you're going to be just charmed, you're going to be disarmed, and you're going to be, to use a word Christopher likes, garmed up in podcast niceties such as these. Christopher, do you know any words?
I was just letting you go.
Sometimes, I know too many.
Sometimes I wait for gaps for me to talk, and sometimes I'm just happy with you doing all the talking. So
to be fair, it's like they say about jazz, right? It's about the notes you don't play. It's about the silences.
Yep. One day you'll figure that out too. But
for now, though, newbie, you're like, hey, what am I watching? What's going on here? Well, we'll tell you because Christopher is going to pitch to me some sort of like fun little woo game. And I'm going to use that game to then just get to the point, describe what the podcast is about. Christopher, how am I telling the people what the podcast is about today?
So I've thought long and hard and not so long and hard about this and came up with the idea. You are chef in said kitchen on a mad one, like as we love people on a mad one. You are stressed to the hills. You've got 34 chickens to cook and 72 beefs to beef, and then you've got however many cakes to cake, and you're doing all the things, and all you've got is someone asking you these annoying questions about a podcast that they want you to explain to them, but you get very angry about it. You tell them to fuck off in all sorts of ways that you possibly can, and you live your proper bear life about it. Yeah. Are you ready?
Okay.
I am indeed. I think you might be. You're very good at these. You're very good at getting into the character. You've set high bars with Cartman and other people. My favorite being the guy from Prince, the Purple Rain movie.
I can't remember his name. Yeah, Warren. I can't remember. Yeah.
Good guess.
Yeah.
Anyway,
get me out of character.
30 seconds. I'm going to keep pushing and probing and asking you these questions while you're trying to get.
Yeah. So can you start the question, then put the timer?
Yeah. Okay. All right, and I'm going to keep calling you chef. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Your time starts after I ask this question.
Okay.
Chef, do you have any good podcast recommendations for me that you might be able to recommend me?
Okay, listen, there's lots of great podcasts, okay? You can listen to this podcast, you can listen to that podcast, you can get a whole feed going, okay? Get your YouTube going, okay? Get everything going. Okay, I don't know if you're
Jeff,
trying to like...
Chef, can you just tell me?
Yeah, no, great. Listen to the Cultural Content Consumption Appraisal Hour. Great. Oh, two friends. Oh, we go way back. We pitch things to each other. Oh,
are there scores, Chef?
This thing. Listen, of course there's scores. There's always scores. This is a game show as well. It's not just a talk show.
But do you do reviews?
It doesn't matter if they do reviews. It's sort of like just a talking thing. It's like, it's good, but it's like friends, and they're talking about things they pitch to each other, and then, oh, what? I'm going to review it. He's going to review it. We're going to guess how the other one felt about it, and then we're going to come together afterwards and sort of like
Time
do
is
a
gone.
show.
Time is gone. Time is gone, Chef. Chef. Time's
I don't actually know if he should listen to it or not, because we got a lot going on right now.
Like,
why are you asking me about podcasts?
Because we're chefs. So I realized that for those who don't watch on video, doesn't matter to them, but I had me big screen for most of that, so I forgot to control the cameras, but we're fine. It's fine.
It is what it is.
It is exactly what it is.
It got me pretty hyped. I think, should we stay in there? Should we stay in that mode? Should we stay in that land? Should we go back to Chicago?
It's quite a lot of anxiety in that land. Yeah.
This is a double watch for you, right?
Yes.
Coming back around, you circled back.
I circled back.
How was it?
Oh, we just dived straight in.
Yeah, let's do a review. So the show is the show. You're here. You know what's going on. I pitch a thing to this fella. Yeah. This fella pitches a thing to this fella.
Yeah.
The following week, we follow up. We have reviews, but the key is
we have scores.
We have scores, and we guess each other's scores. Whoever's closest wins.
Yeah.
And whoever wins can lord it over the other one
for a week
in the remaining 60 seconds of the show.
Yes.
So last week we pitched The Bear, season 1, episode 7. I pitched that to Christopher, and Christopher pitched to me Day Drinking with Seth Meyers, and he goes Day Drinking with Kevin Hart on the YouTubes. But we started the show today with a bit of The Bear, so let's talk about The Bear. Christopher, this was a lot packed into 20 minutes. It's actually quite funny how our running times are quite symmetrical.
It's almost like we planned it or something.
It is almost like we planned it to do some sort of earlier scheduling thing that never came to be.
Yeah, but it's fine. Some people are clubbing, some people are on edibles. It's fine.
It's absolutely fine. It's a good time. I wish I was. I actually wasn't. I had a water. I got everyone else drinks and I got myself a water. Normalize dancing at places without getting fucked up.
I think you still need to find a way to condense that a little bit to really get it.
Try one more time. Can I try one more time? Normalize. Okay. Normalize dancing. Nah, it's not enough.
I've got it for you.
Dancing up a storm.
I've got it in 3 words.
Getting fucked up.
I've got it in 3 words for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
Normalize sober dancing.
Normalize sober dancing, bruv. That sounds lame. I'm out. Oh mate, you ruined it. But yeah, I mean, you said what I'm saying, but goddamn, that's uncool. Okay,
well, basically, you just
normalize sober dancing. 100%. That is what it is. It's just maybe it needs some time to catch on, even for me. But speaking of our pitches, The Bear season 1, episode 7, Bear season 3 premiered a while ago. We made certain commitments.
Did we?
I mean, we spoke about certain commitments.
We haven't circled back to them yet.
We haven't circled back to them yet. And are we on a break from the commitments, or we never committed to the commitments?
Pass.
You know what? If we actually check the chat, I don't think anyone's committed to anything, to be fair to you.
And if we check the transcriptions, I say pass a lot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I think we're both excited about the show. And at some point, you did a funny thing of like, oh, I can't wait to send a tick to you. Because this has been on the side that I've done this show. And I didn't guess it. And then you sent you'd done the first 2 seasons of The Bear.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn, he did it. Because that's a show we're both interested in, but just hadn't entered the podcast universe yet. A few months later, I followed up. Yeah. I took a month or so to follow up, but god damn, was that a fun show to binge. Yeah. But let's go from a little overview there, just in terms of like when you did finally go into the Bear universe, how was it? And then we'll circle back to this episode. You did do the 2 seasons. Did you do them pretty quickly? Did you generally agree with the hype? How did you find it?
The Bear is a fantastic show.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a great show, but it's one of those shows that is difficult to binge because it leaves you in a very anxious, stressful place. It's not an easy watch, but it's a good watch. And with all the stress and with can't remember who's head chef's name? I can't remember his name in character or in actor land.
Yeah, I can remember.
Other than Sydney just calling him an absolute arsehole.
Yeah, the actor's Jeremy Allen White, right? Carmi.
Yeah. Carmi and Carmen
Carmi Berzado.
Yeah. But yeah, he's got this sort of stressful nature about him where he seems very anxious and puts people far away and does all of his own chefing and deals with his problems internally sort of until he just sort of explodes a lot. He likes to explode quite a bit.
Boy, does he.
So there's a lot of that. But yeah, no, it's a very good show. And I very much enjoyed watching this episode again because it brought me back in to a place where I was like, you know what? I need to watch season 3 now because...
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm looking for the same. So did you know straight away when I said the name of the episode, the title, like, did you know where I was taking you?
And that was another good thing because I think... So I did watch season 1 and 2 quite close to each other, but it wasn't like I was watching 3 episodes a night and binged it. It was probably over the course of a few months and just sort of would go in and watch a couple and then go, right, I need a break.
Totally.
And then sort of dip in and out. I mean, I think it took me a good 6-7 weeks before I watched the finale of season 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, between the second to last episode and the finale?
Yeah.
Nice.
Because it was kind of like...
He gets it. It's hard to finish a thing sometimes.
Nah, just you. But
Okay.
but also just because I think the way that there was a setup in that was kind of like, this last episode's going to be a lot
riding on it.
And you it's not like you need to sort of sit and just kind of swim in it as it's happening and not kind of just have it as a thing happening around you. But yeah, so this episode it's my favorite kind of television, Jeff. You've kind of done it quite well. It's kind of like a one shot. It's kind of like a bottle episode. It's kind of one of those things. And they do a lot of these throughout the 2 seasons, I think, as well.
Yes. This one to me is definitely the notable one of season 1.
Yeah.
And the thing that I forgot was I like, similar to you, it was hard to binge it, but like I would try every other day at a certain point. I was like, it's my bear time. And like you'd get into that headspace if you had it to like really immerse yourself. I think the way you described it is so good because it reminds me of my constant complaint more about my brain and what's happening to our brains these days than the content is just how hard it is to focus solely on one thing these days with the amount of other distractions we have at hand. And for me, the Bear's almost been an equalizer there because I don't know if you ever had like, let's say, a game show is on, cheeky little bang average 1% club is on. If you check your phone for 2 seconds and miss a question, just get the next question, it's fine. Whereas with this, if I'm getting a message, I'm like, skip back 30 seconds. What am I missing here? Like, you have to be in it. So it's very equalizing for your attention span. And I fucking love that. Obviously, it can take the piss if the running time's crazy, which is why we have to be careful with our movie pitches. But they all do fall in a pretty manageable range until suddenly season 2 had like a movie length episode. But I fucking love how the different episode lengths, I think that's awesome. But yeah, for me...
Yeah.
Go on.
I was going to say, that's one of the sort of plus sides of streaming. There aren't...
Yes, true.
Seems to be not many at the moment because there's too many streaming again.
Yes.
We've basically just gone back to cable or whatever.
True.
But the fact that they're not beholden to adverts or slots on network television or whatever, they can just do whatever they need to do to tell the story in the length of time that the story needs to be told.
This is true. It's funny compared to more traditional television. It is funny that these days, like, you would like the signifier is like that thing at the bottom that tells you how long it's going to be. I don't know. It's just like, oh, okay. Either I really have to strap in, or like, I think you and I are similar in this regard, where like you don't want to like, unless something's going on with your scheduling, you need to be on top of it. You kind of don't want to keep your eye on that. You want to just be immersed because like things are happening, and then you want to be shocked by the fact that it's ending. Like, imagine you're at the cinema and suddenly someone clicks the screen. It's like 20 minutes left. You're like, don't tell me. I'm trying to be lost in the thing. But for this one, I very much remembered the one shot of it all and the intensity, but I really forgotten how intricately it weaves quite a few different plot points. So like I forgot the actual context in the timeline of the season. So you've got one of the mate, the cast in this is so fucking good, right?
Man.
So yeah, and you've got what's her name? She's so funny. What is her name? I'm gonna remember her name now.
Sid?
The character she plays, yes, is Sydney. But she, Ayo Adiberi, is a very funny comedian who plays her. So she's done this thing in the previous episode where she seems to have inadvertently served a restaurant critic her own dish, which isn't on the menu officially. So there is tension about this. And I remembered at the beginning, one of the other chefs is reading the review and he's getting all gassed, but Kami, the actual head chef, is getting a bit. He's not committing to being happy about this good review because the dish isn't on the menu. And I just think that's fucking deliciously ripe tension there. It's so great. And they don't just jump into it. Carmi's trying to put it off. Let's just get through today. He's saying, Sydney's like, are we cool? Are you sure we're cool? He's like, yeah. Let's just get through today. But you find out within mere minutes he's not cool. Then the other lady brings in her son who's been disciplined, and she's like, he has to learn stuff today. And you're like, this is such typical office fare. Like, we got mad other shit going on, and then you got you with your kid, and like, obviously we all have to be nice to the kid. And then my favorite stuff is the Sydney versus
work
Richie
experience
stuff.
Day. Because
it's big work experience.
Nobody wants the kid there because
wants the kid
you've got your own shit to worry about, let alone look after 100%. A kid. Sorry, carry on.
And you really, but then you usually go the other way and you feel bad for the kid. No, because you can feel the kid's self-consciousness about that. So then you end up being nice.
Just give him a photocopier to play with. It's fine. See this piece of paper? Make 4 of them. Go.
No, but don't go too fast. Come back in 4 hours.
Like 1 every 5 minutes.
Yeah,
it's good.
But then knowing me at this work experience,
check it's copied properly. Like,
I'll get to the photocopier and I'll be like, oh god, I don't understand what any of this means. I'll go on a mad journey. I'll go to the nearest corner shop and be like, teach me about the photocopier. You can just use this one. Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed. Anyway, it's this work experience for a young lad. It doesn't get too intrusive into the plot, but the general vibe of, I think her name is Tina, going to Sydney and being like, listen, we had a bit of a rocky relationship at the start.
Yeah.
But now I'm bringing in my son. I actually look up to you a bit. Can you give me a bit of advice? Sydney is now so distracted by her argument with Carmi and their tension that she's like, just do whatever. Just get through the day. And she's like, yes, chef. There's a lot of, all right,
I couldn't remember where, because I know their relationship has gone on like a whole journey throughout the 2 seasons. I couldn't remember watching this one episode where in the journey of relationship we were. So I was trying to read like, have they reconciled? Has she got respect now? And I couldn't quite remember.
She seems at least on the upward, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how many bumps, but this is like the bumpiest because, spoiler, it ends with Sydney walking out, and it also ends with fucking, what's his name, walking out?
Cake Man.
Cake Man. It's got to have a better name than that, surely. Is he Marcus?
The guy who does the desserts. Marcus sounds right.
Marcus. And bless him. I actually, the standout moment of this episode, because Carmi's all over the shop, Jeremy Allen White has got a lot of, that's why you couldn't get me out of the 30-second game. Once you're that angry, let alone acting, but in real life, it's very hard to calm down. And at some point, Richie's like, you got to calm down. Because like, shut the fuck up. But you just get to that pitch, right? But in all that anger, at one point, fucking little cake man, Marcus comes along and he's like, I figured out the donuts. Oh, I just had to blaze this thing in the middle of all this chaos going on of different orders. And then Carmi, his mentor, fucking switches on him, tells him to shut the fuck up and get back to work and all this shit.
Yeah.
And his little heartbroken face, like, oh, I just like...
And smashes his donut onto the floor.
Rough.
So the one thing we haven't mentioned, the main
back on track
plot point of this episode is that Sydney is introducing the new sort of electronic ticket system.
Yes.
So they're all stressed about that. They've got Richie, cousin, whatever his name is, who's sort of Carmi's cousin, who's sort of was working at the restaurant before Carmi came back to the restaurant and is still kind of feeling a way about that. Thinking, mate, we just make sandwiches. Why are you trying to be all fancy about it or whatever? Him and Sydney have got this tension because she's brought in this electronic thing and he's normally the guy that deals with the customers and whatnot. But what Sydney accidentally did was allowed pre-orders. So they go to open the shop and then suddenly they've got 100 and something sandwiches to make before they've even started and that people have paid for. So that then spins this whole sort of bottle episode, which basically I think is 20 minutes of actual time and it's 20 minutes of actual time in their restaurant in canon and whatever the hell words I need to say to explain it. But yeah, so you sort of basically go from 20 minutes before opening to opening. And
such a good plot point, right? The pre-order thing, like what a genius move, because that must have happened.
And you've got that tension and the great shot of the tickets just all coming out of this sort of receipt machine of all of these orders coming in, and it's really good television. It's just really good TV, film, whatever you want to call it. It is really good TV, really film, all of it. Yeah. It's so done well. And then my favorite, because you just were touching on it, my favorite thing is the Sydney Richie thing. Yeah, because obviously your first time watching this show, because she stabs him in the arse. Another thing that happens in this episode.
Oh, mate, I didn't
Literally,
remember.
by the way, we're not talking like backstabbing. We're talking about literal knife in.
But
butt cheek.
he sort of backs up into her. I swear to God, he does.
Yeah.
But then
did
I
he
didn't
say
remember
corner?
this from. So you have to say corner, chef.
Yeah.
Can't not say corner. Everyone's at their wits' end in this episode.
That's one of my favorite things, by the way, is that Sydney prides herself on being perfect, and Richie not so much. And the one mistake that she makes, he calls her out on it. And because he turns a corner, she doesn't say corner, he knocks a bunch of stuff out of her hands, and he goes, "You didn't say corner," and she can't say a thing back to him because she knows that he's right. Like that tiny little sort of meeting in the kitchen is great as well.
It is. It's almost like the best like frantic playwriting. Like this would be electrifying on stage, and I think it really works as television. They fucking pull it off. Don't get me wrong, but like whether it's David Mamet or other playwriters, like it's so alive and lively. And the thing about Sydney and Richie, as you just said, like he's like annoyed about this electronic machine thing. Their whole vibe is almost like who's the new kid in the family who's threatening my position in the family at all. Like I feel like I'm not that needed in the family. I might get kicked out. New chick is coming in. Clearly, Carmi and her have a really a really symbiotic vibe going on with taking the business forward, and he feels really threatened. And then they're both just so stressed at each other at one point. Richie almost gets to like take the higher ground and be more calm, but then they're so stressed they just start calling each other a loser. No, you're the loser. You're a loser. I know you, and I see you, and that's why you don't like me, because I'm the one who sees how much of a loser you are. I'm like, bro, like it got very deep very quickly, doesn't it? How are we feeling about Carmi? Because in general, I remember his slow, moody, James Dean-like, obviously being painted as a genius chef, not the best at the personal life, but slowly getting it together, being gentle with himself after a family tragedy, all this stuff. But in this episode, if you watch it in isolation, this man is not the best.
No, he's not.
So like, no, he's not. Like it sounds harsh to say, because I feel like in the general 2 seasons of the show, I would call him a good person. But in this episode, he's not a good person. Yeah, that's interesting. Do you not find him to be a good person? I find him like definitely on a redemptive journey of some kind.
Do you not?
I trust.
Is it not the last episode of the 2nd season where he's stuck in a freezer losing his shit? Like,
yeah, well, that's what life will get you. It's funny. The freezer is just like featured in this episode, and I was like, oh, that's gonna come back in handy. I'm not sure everyone, now that we're not spoiling just season 1, episode 7, and a bit of season 2. How did you? Let's touch on that briefly. How did you find that episode of season 2? I don't think everyone loved it. I loved it, but I think a lot of people.
The opening of the rehearsal day or whatever the hell it was
leading into him, the actual ending of his in the midst of a freezer fucking up his newfound love. How did you find that ending?
It's good.
I thought it was like dramatically perfect. Obviously, it's a bit ridiculous, but
but no, it's not. It's not ridiculous.
A little bit. Got locked in a freezer. Won't shut the fuck up. That to me seems the right level of ridiculous. Why him and the girl?
No, but just mainly the restaurant stuff fun. Like the whole making a whole new restaurant. That's a good thing.
Yes, the restaurant stuff and him and Sydney and just trying to take it to the next level and pursue a thing. Yeah. No, that is my favorite stuff. Don't get me wrong. I just thought him with the girl was interesting because they're obviously doing a slightly, like we joke about, you get the 2 characters together, it ruins the tension of the show.
Yeah.
The kind of tension here is that it's actually him and Sydney are kind of soulmates, but it's just not going there romantically for whatever reason. Yeah. So I like the non-traditional. He's linking up with a girl from back in the day.
Yeah.
I like how it was the pacing of that was nice. It wasn't jumping into it. It wasn't holding up too long.
Yeah, it wasn't thrown at you. It was just kind of yeah.
And then they don't truly fuck it up until the end, and then they really do. But who knows? Season 3, we need to watch that. Are we going to watch it together? Are we going to watch it separately?
Is that what's nominated for bajillion Emmys? Season 3 probably is.
I think. And I
literally was in town just now and like just walked past a big poster that said nominated for 11 Emmys, and it just said like the bear. I'm just like
photo.
Yeah.
Did you take a photo?
No. Why would I take a photo? That's the sort of thing. That's weirdo person just takes photos all the time of stuff that
just take a selfie with it. Yeah. That's how I then put the show on Instagram.
Are you not doing that already? I don't know if you are. I can't have a go at you for not socializing this show because I don't socialize. So
no, but if we're gonna grow, this,
socializing is being on social media.
100%. No, I mean there needs to be better, more straight to the point and straightforward verbs for doing all the social media stuff. It's also new. Maybe we're just
sober's a good one.
Sober is, dude. Normalize sober dancing. Okay, but what about just
Are there no synonyms? I can never say.
synonyms?
Wow.
Synonyms for normalize.
No,
don't
for
worry.
sober.
For sober,
Yeah.
normalize. Fucking just straight edge. Awful, actually awful.
So the bear.
So the bear is. It's all about getting the sandwich shop up and running, which, you know, they're 2 seasons in and just about getting it together. We're 4 seasons in and we haven't figured out an Instagram yet. We all go at different paces, okay? But I love the cast. I love the acting. This is a funny one for now, me guessing your scores, which I don't know if you're quite ready for, but like, I do feel like...
I'm ready for anything.
Oh, I love it. The Venn diagram of the shit we both like is very little. Like, we both are seeing slightly different things or whatever, but I feel like we are both liking this on a nice high level quite similarly. So... Oh, we have to talk about the music before we leave. What the fuck?
What, your Sufjan Stevens something playing?
The Sufjan Stevens intro, the song Chicago is a masterpiece, and there's a weird intro where you actually hear the radio broadcaster announcing him.
Yeah.
Love a shout out. But then here's the key thing, which I noticed a lot first time watching. Second time, not as much. But the first time watching, basically the second it gets into kitchen mode, a few minutes into the episode, it's really like... It's almost like the volume's quite low on a single song that just gets cranked up. And it's like, it's the same sort of driving song. There's a bit of riffs going on, but like it's the same sort of song. And it's a song called Spiders, brackets Kid Smoke by Wilco. And that song is a fucking tune. And it doesn't have any of the vocals. But whoever, and it must have been Christopher Storer, the series creator, I'm guessing, because his music taste is clearly... I popped so hard during the 2 seasons. It's very similar to my taste. But specifically, firstly, Chicago is the name of the song Sufjan Stevens sings from his concept album about Illinois. And then Wilco is like the most famous Chicago representing band. And I think he like one of Christopher Storer's first things he ever did was like a Jeff Tweedy, frontman of Wilco, solo show. He like filmed that. So he's got ties with the band. But just the vibe of that song matching the energy of the episode.
You know what? I don't even think I noticed it.
Oh, that's so interesting.
But that's probably not a bad thing.
No, I'd say that's a good thing.
Because I feel the tension and I feel it building and I feel it all happening. But
totally.
That you say it, I feel like I want to go back and check. But so you're suggesting as soon as it goes into kitchen mode, the song starts and it's quiet and it gets louder and louder and louder.
Yes. And then
clever.
Basically it never actually...
That sounds like something you do in college because you think you're clever, making like a movie. No, but do you know what I mean though?
Yeah.
I've got this great idea. What if it starts quiet and then gets loud?
I think that might be... Oh, I don't know if it actually just does that. I think it might do like a bit of up and down, but I think it actually works as soundtrack music for that exact reason you're saying of you not noticing it.
Yeah.
Because it just matches the tension of the episodes. So I think the fact that me, a Wilco guy, is like, wait, but you are just watching the episode and locked in, not really overly noticing it as an element that's like distinct from the rest of the episode.
There's so many just great tension building moments in this. It's just even just so at the start, one of the people in the, like you mentioned, one of the people in the kitchen is just reading the review out loud and just constantly is being told to shut up for like the first good 3 or 4 minutes of the episode.
And he's reading it in his broken English. It's very sweet. And Sydney's behind him like, stop.
And then he'll stop for a bit and then he'll read a bit more and then someone will tell him shut. But just that's like the initial bit. And then you throw in all these other elements as the episode goes. It's good. It's good. What do you want me to say?
It's good telly, bro. I don't know what I want you to say.
Why did you give me? You actually gave me something good. So now I feel bad, but I'm pitching you later. But
oh dear, it's going to be a good time. But do you feel like do you feel like to finish on this question as we go into scores, I know a few people who are interested in the idea of the bear but find the experience of having tried to watch it too stressful to commit to it as a show. What do you say to these people? Because I'm struggling with what to say to them. I want to say get your shit together and watch the good show.
That's kind of what I would say too.
Yeah. So let's workshop a gentler way of doing it. We don't want to be Kami in season 1, episode 7. We want to be Kami in a later episode where he's...
There aren't many episodes you want to be Kami. I'm just putting it out there.
I like this Kami hate. This is interesting.
No, it's not Kami. It's just that...
Kami critiques.
Yeah, because even throughout 2 seasons, while he may have grown a little bit and he shows these elements of
growth.
I'm not going to say growth again. Compassion, evolution, I guess.
Oh yeah.
I found a word, thank God. Don't know, but I found one. Especially towards Sydney as well, because he often he constantly apologizing to her in like various different like arguments that they go through, and
yes,
and so he does show redeeming qualities. He's still quite clearly not there yet, which is a good thing for the show because it shows that we've got places to go. But
that's interesting. Okay, so
but to everyone else who struggles with it, sort it out, mate. Just watch it.
Sort it out.
Some things aren't
just
easy to watch, but they're good for you. You know, just swallow that pill.
Said. Swallow the pill and eat the posh food.
Yeah, and dance sober.
Dance sober. Christopher, your scores. I mean, how are you feeling coming off your first victory in ages? Are you feeling like, are you back in the game yet, or are you still like the relegation?
I remember
battle
what the scores were last week.
I mean, you won. That's all I'm saying. You won, and you hadn't won for a while.
I'm feeling fairly confident this week, but we'll see. Depends whether you've got you're the one in the difficult position. You've pitched me a show that you know I kind of like, and you've asked me to rewatch an episode.
It can be.
So my
it can be just as
anticipation
difficult.
and my enjoyment and my retrospect could be all over the place, really.
Rough. Could be all over the place. I've gone for newbies, especially on the YouTube channel, of which I'm sure there is at least one of you. Oh, you've bailed probably because
we got any viewers?
shouting.
Do you think anyone's watching right now?
We're not fucking checking that shit. Good for you if you're here, and if not, you've come back like a year later doing a me. And you need to like have archived every episode to have done on video. Are you checking?
Maybe.
I'm gonna watch you checking. No, I'm not gonna watch you checking. I'm gonna crack on, and I'm gonna say,
some Inception. There's nobody watching.
It's gonna be there. A live stream is the quickest way to put it on the YouTube. Do we agree on that at least?
This is true.
Okay.
You know what? It looks good though. Just putting it out. It looks good. It looks good.
If it looks good, it feels good, baby. In anticipation, you were a 4 because it's not. I think I'm thinking in my weird brain, that 5 for a TV show would be like this was next up. I did get you to go back a bit. You had to circle back a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So a rating of 4 for your anticipation, enjoyment during. I wouldn't go as far as to say masterpiece, but it's like a primo bit of good telly. 5 for enjoyment during, and then I think just in the classic pyramid-esque way, I was thinking, oh, you're going to be a 4 afterwards. And I was like, no. He's going to stay on a 5. He had a great time with this episode because when I rewatched it, I was taken aback by, I knew it was the one shot, but I forgot how effectively they pull off the episode. So I'm saying 4.55 are my guesses. Locked in.
2 off.
Oh, what did you have?
I was a 3 going in because I couldn't remember what the episode was.
You didn't want to circle back?
I couldn't remember what the episode was. So you said it was the review. I sort of looked. I was like, okay, it's 20 minutes. But actually knowing what the episode was about, I without actually clicking play and remembering and being in it, I couldn't remember it. I didn't rush to watch it. I was kind of like, you know. Although good runtime, Jeff. Good runtime.
Can't hate the runtime. 100%.
Then it was 4 in enjoyment. Okay. I did watch it while on a treadmill, which I tell you what, that anxiousness was actually quite helpful. It distracted me, and like the 20 minutes flew by.
Just sitting there with it can be a lot. That's a good shout, you know. So you're telling the people who find it stressful, get on the fucking treadmill, you lazy dickhead. Okay, that's.
You know what? You know what lazy dickheads don't do, Jeffrey.
What the lazy dickheads do? Get the bus to the gym. Listen, you gotta do what you gotta do to get in there. Anyway, yes.
So 3, 4, 5 is what I was.
Right. So 3, 4, 5. Interesting.
Yeah.
So the 5 afterwards, you were like. Yeah, you can tell from this episode. If you weren't a 5 for afterwards,
I would be lying.
You would be a liar. Okay, that's very interesting. And now we're going to segue. So we've done 20 minutes of like what I would, with a bit of hesitation, but I would call prestige television at this point. And then we go into like bonus YouTube talk show side content, which at this point actually is one of his more viral.
Does he not play it during his show?
I think he does. He does. But the way that in 2024 they excerpt these full things onto the YouTube, I'm actually not sure how it works with all their ad breaks and stuff. Maybe they show bits of it. Maybe they're cutting into it. It seems very much designed for. I mean, 17 minutes 50, that would take up half a bloody episode of American telly. So this is Seth and Kevin Hart go day drinking. They all the talk show hosts in the States that we've covered so many times and various guises do their little bits. They have their little skits and they have their little
Corden with his carpool karaoke.
The most famous being Corden with his carpool karaoke. Games. He's got all manner of games. He's got Two Truths and a Lie, I'm sure. Bear games. Kimmel doesn't really do anything. What's Kimmel do? I think he maybe
he just funny how you said that.
Kimmel
Come on, what does he do?
I think he's more. I think his whole thing might be being more straight laced and just doing the talk show. Fallon is most like just all fucking games all day. Seth's interesting because he's got like, I think he's got more political bits.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll do like a closer look, I think they call it, and this is like 10 minutes. He goes hard joke after whatever Trump did in the news this week or whatever, a closer look. And I think he's occasionally got on his old Weekend Update partner, Amy Poehler, to jump in and stuff like that. But this day drinking thing, I don't know what led to this. Because I remember he's had big names on it. I've at least watched a couple. Yeah, the Rihanna one's the most famous one. Should we check how many views that has? Because Dua Lipa. How did you say it?
Dua Lipa.
Dua Lipa. 22 million views for Seth and Rihanna Go Day Drinking. That was 5 years ago now, so he's been doing this for a hot minute.
Jonas Brothers.
Okay, so yeah.
Kelly Clarkson. The reason I'm saying this is because I watched every single one this week.
Okay. Oh, really? You went through them?
Did a bit of a binge.
Stephen
Mostly
Lord?
in one. Yep.
Wow. Will Forte. Okay.
Jeez, stop screaming in my ears, Jeffrey. Jesus.
Will Forte. Forte.
Yeah, you'd enjoy that one.
I didn't realize. Yeah, I think I would enjoy it. Oh, he went with his brother 9 years ago. That might have been where it started then, because that's
Tina
9
Fey.
years ago.
No, not Tina Fey. No, sorry. Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I'm going to say Louis.
You do that.
Okay. So, and Lizzo is a big one. This is pre-cancelled?
She's not cancelled.
She's not cancelled. Talk to us about it. What happened? How did you decide that she's not cancelled?
She's not been cancelled. Because they still
play
her on the radio.
You're signing off on her mistreating her dancers or whatever she did. We're cool with that.
Well, they're allegations.
Oh, okay, good. So basically, innocent until proven guilty is what you're saying about Lizzo.
Kinda.
I'm clipping this out, and I'm very happy that.
I mean,
why raise the eyebrow?
I don't know. Because it kind of went in the news and then it just disappeared and no one talked about it again. So I thought everything was fine. I don't know how.
Innocent. Fucking doesn't that just mean innocent at this point? Okay, so this was fantastic.
Wait. Yeah. Coming from king of redeeming cancellations.
Yeah, name the two that you like, because
what that I like or that you still like.
That I still like that
Louis
you like
CK.
to point out. Yeah, and
other people.
Okay.
I don't know who was the other one. What's
I don't know,
Dylan done?
Dylan's done nothing, and he never will. And
that we are aware of because they didn't have phones.
Actually,
in the 60s.
No, something did come out a few years ago, but they got very quickly shut down. So like, he's fine. He's untouchable. He's golden. He might chat shit about Timothée Chalamet in a few months, but that would just make me stand him even harder. To be fair,
why do I not get the feeling that he should have allowed it? Like it's his say. Does he not get a say?
Oh no, he did allow it. But I don't think his say. I think he had a chat. To be fair, one of the redeeming things for new listeners, we're doing a bit of a chat about A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan new film, the biographical film that's going to come out Christmas Day in the States and New Year here. And I'm just I love Bob Dylan so much, but I'm annoyed at Timothée Chalamet's casting. It is what it is. But anyway, I think there was a really cool anecdote that came out about the director sort of selling him on the movie generally, and just like having this spiel, and then Dylan being like, yeah, sounds good. I don't know about signing off on, like, I think if he got proper in his feelings about it, I think he could have the power.
How did he sell it?
Oh, but do you want to
tell me more? Tell me more. This is all news to me, and you telling me is making this so much sweeter.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right, because I'm having to what's it called? Allow it. I don't want to backtrack, but I might have to backtrack. This guy, he said stuff, mate. Don't worry about it. It's going to take me a few minutes to find. Show notes. I can circle back to it though. I actually can. But let's talk about Kevin going day drinking first. I would like to say that I have seen Kevin Hart live. He's a comedian. I've seen at the O2. My guy he had a good time.
Okay.
But
say no more.
To me, say again.
Say no more.
Say no more.
6 out of 10 is what that was.
Yeah. Bang average. No. Listen. No, it was good. It was good. But like, he is one of those that like, I'm like, how is he that huge? And then you're like, oh, he's that huge because,
what? Because what?
Also, sorry to do this. Also cancelled. But clearly not, because he's doing day drinking. Is day drinking just a refuge of the cancelled? Didn't know that, Seth. Good to know. No, so like I'm saying, probably
I'm clipping that out.
the reason that he's that big, like he did a few different nights in the O2, and it's just with comedians. I think there's an
you need to explain.
analogy.
Why is he so big?
I'm coming.
Okay,
yeah,
you're going to circle back to it.
I'm circling back. I'm literally doing it as we speak. You've now stopped it, and I have to do a U-turn to get back to the circle.
Do a figure of eight, okay?
A figure of eight. He's big because there's that analogy in music and like pop music and some of the lowest common denominator shit being the biggest. I think some of his stuff is a bit like,
Ouch.
so like not, so, dude, he's undeniably funny, but like for my taste as a stand-up comedian, maybe he's not as edgy. And it's like let's say whether you've got Chappelle, Chris Rock. I'm speaking specifically about black comedians, right? There is this thing, black American comedians. There's this thing about being really edgy and putting and speaking truth to power. And like to me, Kevin Hart's main talent is his consistency. My man just doesn't stop working. And not that he isn't also really funny and stuff, but where others might let the workload just like, all right, I need a break or whatever. To me, it's part of his reputation too, to be fair at this point. He bigs it up too. But it's like he will not stop grinding. He is after the almighty dollar. He will sponsor whatever needs to be sponsored. He will do as much stand-up as possible, be in as many films as possible. But it's more that it's like, it's
I mean,
talent and hard work.
They lean into the film thing as part of.
They lean into the film thing a lot, and here's to circle all the way back, which is I'm coming in quite cynical, but then just in a very drop all the shit and just be here and have a drink and be a prat. He properly won me over, and I had a wicked time, and I was almost annoyed.
So do we need to explain the premise of this?
You helped me having watched 20 of them this week.
There aren't 20 of them, which made me sad. But ultimately, Seth Meyers, late night talk show, gets a celebrity, and they allegedly go drinking. And I say allegedly because there are some anecdotes that Seth has said in the past where after a while they do swap it out for water because the people are just getting absolutely flattered. Or in Dua Lipa's case, doesn't return from the break and they have to just cut.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, that's fun.
She basically did 12 tequila shots and went home in a wheelchair.
Oh,
it's great.
That's fantastic.
And Seth's just there, drunk himself, doesn't know what's going on, is just waiting for her to come back, and she doesn't. But so the idea being that it's almost basically it's the Hot Ones thing, but with alcohol.
Yeah.
So they're basically having a fun interview. He's asking stupid questions. They're playing games, doing gags while just doing shots. And again, you just see a celebrity just slowly sort of take the mask away and just almost. Does Kevin Hart do that in this? I feel like eventually he does.
To a point, yeah.
I mean, there's a very sweet moment. There's a very sweet moment in this where Kevin Hart says, "Do you know why I agreed to do this?" And he sort of points at Seth, and Seth goes, "Why?" And he goes, "Because I knew you'd be great to have a drink with." Which is kind of
you'd
like
be a great drinking partner.
Yeah.
And
then Seth in his drunk state goes, "Oh, well, I am a great drinking partner."
Yeah, he gets proper fucked up.
He does, and his hair gets more floppy. That's how you know how drunk he is.
The hair fucking loses it, mate. I love it. It's definitely a legit like the hair gets drunk, and that's how you know kind of sign. Because getting drunk is one of those perfect things in the world of acting, movies, TV, which like I think we're all just like immune to it being done badly, and you're like, oh, and sometimes you might not know. Sometimes there's the very famous instances of here or there actors have really done it because it's hard just to play. You're like, oh, I bet they're not drunk. Oh, actually they were. Or oh, I bet they were drunk. And no, they're just really good actors. But in this, they get a bit sozzled and it's fun. And when Kevin actually loses it creasing, noticing that Seth's starting to slur his words a bit, I actually went back and I was like, what's the bit? And it was like just his eyes being a bit googly and not as focused. And then Kevin Hart just cracks the fuck up, being like, Seth's really fucked up, and he's having a great whale of a time. And they're playing this game about how can you guess whether you were in a movie or not with this celebrity or actor, and he's really bad at it. But it seems like he's actually trying, and they have proper good banter about it. And Mr. Polish.
Some of the great games they do. So they do that. He just holds up pictures of celebrities and says, "What movie were you in with them?" And Kevin Hart can't remember half of them. They also play a game about we've both got kids, so these are rules that we should know about being parents. Do we know them? And if we get it wrong, you've got to do another shot. And then my favorite thing is he gets him to sort of he gets Kevin Hart to sort of do like sponsorship little ads or something for a made up drink called White Claw or something. And they hold up cue cards that he's never seen before and he has to read them. And one of them is just hilarious.
A few of them sent him, but the one about like I actually still rate Bill Cosby or whatever. He proper loses
yes.
it.
Side note, not related, but I love Cosby. I think he says or something like that.
And they start showing the guy actually holding the cue cards, which is always I love when you just take that a little bit behind the scenes vibe into the thing. That's really funny for me.
And the guy who looks like Paul Rudd.
Yeah, and then they start taunting another writer on set who looks like Paul Rudd. So I didn't even make the Hot Ones connection, but that's properly on point. Are you saying there's now a thing? Because maybe we can parlay this podcast into it, where basically whether it's really hot sauce or alcohol, you need to find some sort of substance to get the guest off their rocker.
Mate, I ain't reviewing the substance yet.
Okay, but is that the link there? That obviously,
I mean, I've made a link. I don't necessarily think it's a thing that's needed, but it does.
No,
I guess it brings a sort of
levity, I think,
and it makes the celebrity a little bit more relatable, which I think is what you look for.
That's true.
You want to see a bit of. You want less polish. You want to see the real person. It's kind of what. I guess it's what draws anyone to anything is they need to find some sort of connection or some realism. Yeah. Because if it's completely just fake, there's nothing to really connect with.
Yeah. That's true.
Social media.
Yeah, well, and a lot of, for me, Kevin Hart's other shit, which is then, and to be fair, even the most genuine performers, if you are on the press circuit for long enough, if you don't get a bit fake and superficial with it, you're going to exhaust yourself. Like that's part of how it works, right? So then you need novel stuff in this day and age to sort of almost come at you from different angles and force you to drop your guard. Yeah, that's a fascinating link. So I'm liking how you're now
also it's just this one's just funny because while Hot Ones, I guess he does ask really good questions. This is just more a bit of fun. And
yeah, that's true.
Those who haven't watched it yet, Zlatan on Hot Ones, it's just
really? Is it chef's kiss?
Well, because he's trying to be God, because basically he is. But
sounds very
he can't handle the heat, which is quite cute.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's
like
good.
even
so
from the start, he's like
football fans.
Yeah, it's good fun.
But even for the non-football fans,
maybe
putting out there. Okay. I can tell you, by the way, because I feel like it would make you happy. Director James Mangold, was speaking to Rolling Stone, and this is the quote. It's pretty good.
Okay, the first time I didn't realize we were circling back.
Yeah, we had to circle back in the day drinking review, but we do. It's really short. The first time I sat down with him, Bob said, "What's this movie about, Jim?" I said, "It's about a guy who's choking to death in Minnesota and leaves behind all his friends and family and reinvents himself in a brand new place, makes new friends, builds a new family, becomes phenomenally successful, starts to choke to death again, and runs away." And Bob said, "I like that." And I was like, "God damn it, that's good stuff. That's good stuff." You just had to fuck it with the cast.
And that person is Timothy Chalamet.
Hey, have you ever seen Dune? June. For fuck's sake, but I think that quote is terrific. Day drinking. I think there's such a paradox there, though, with all the genuineness, because it is also in polished TV land still. So it's just a really funny one where it's part
when
they
do cut and show you all the cameras, all the lights, all the things. You're like,
it's true. It does, and it's
like jarring.
For the most. It is jarring. Like for the most micromanaged celebrities, he's got these almost like the god tier Rihanna, Dua Lipa. Like these are like the most successful, the most successful. You're like thinking, how many managers are in the corner? Like, please don't say anything problematic, or like, we have to have final cut on this.
Only 10 tequilas today.
Like... Yeah, I don't know. Or like they swap out the water. I don't know. But Kevin Hart in this, I will admit, as someone who's a Kevin Hart skeptic,
just to point out, you were talking about the guy who likes to work. They're drinking Kevin Hart's tequila. Because celebrities and alcohol is a thing. There's a whole Always Sunny episode about it, which is great as well. But
when did that start happening?
I don't know, but Always Sunny people were on it and have an episode about it, which is great.
Should we do what's his name? The guy from Stephen Bartlett. Should we sponsor an energy drink? What can we? A Huel.
I sent you a DM. Did you see the DM I sent you?
I can't remember the DM. There's been a lot.
It was basically Stephen Bartlett saying stuff and trying to sound really profound. And then these two guys just basically go, what he's saying is, it's hard to do the hard stuff. Or, I don't like doing the hard stuff, but I like doing the easy stuff. And that's basically what he tries to say.
Trust me, Stephen Bartlett. I hear that. No, I've never liked him more now. No, that's really funny. I'll link to that tweet in the show notes. It's been a while. Tweet of the week?
What's a tweet?
A tweet of the week. I love it for us. I love it for us. Christopher, my scores for
I've got a guess.
Seth and Kevin go day drinking are whatever it means that you're 3 off so I can get back to winning. And that's the episode.
I had you
go on.
As a 4 in anticipation, because it's late night stuff, and it's Seth Meyers, who's a good one of the late night guys. He's in my top 2.
He's your top 2. What is your top 2?
Him and John Oliver.
Okay.
And because in one of them, he has a proper rant about John Oliver, because someone asks him in one of the drinking games, in one of the day drinking games, they ask him to rank them, all the late night people, and he's I think he puts John Oliver last and just gives him a bunch of shit, but yet they're going on tour together or something shortly after. I can't remember what they did. Anyway, so
obviously means they're buddy. Yeah.
I had you 4 as anticipation, 4 in enjoyment, 4 in retrospect.
You got me. You're a 1 off. I was a 3 in anticipation, to be fair, because Kevin Hart isn't my favorite, but by the end, I'm
4.
I'm enjoying Kevin Hart content, at least for that video. I'm not sure if I would go straight to my related videos section of the YouTube tab and click on more Kevin Hart. I think I'm more going to click on day drinking after that. But
Kevin Hart on a roller coaster with Jimmy Fallon's fun, if you haven't watched that one.
This is funny. This is the new era of like, I don't like the celebrity, but I like him doing random shoulder content.
Don't have to like his bang average comedy movies, but...
you know what's funny when he's
Kevin
like,
Hart is a cop. Kevin Hart is a teenager. Kevin
I
Hart
didn't really know
is
his
a
movies,
carrot.
bro. When he was like, we're gonna base these funny made up drinks on your movies, I was like, what are his movies? And it was Secret Life of Pets. I was like, haven't seen it, heard of it, and then the rest I haven't. Name a Kevin Hart movie challenge.
Secret Life of Pets.
I actually couldn't do it. Name a Kevin Hart movie challenge. I think he did Jumanji with The Rock, right?
Yeah, he's also done something else with The Rock. He likes The Rock.
He does like The Rock. Him and The Rock have a little double act thing going on. Fair enough. I think we'd all have a good double act going with The Rock if we could pull it off. Christopher, you won again. I'm not liking this.
You're not going to like my pitch either.
Oh, brilliant.
I feel good. 2 wins in a row. It's good. Come on, momentum back. Seems to somehow tie in with United's form. So it's kind of doing.
Don't make that link.
How are Chelsea getting on right now?
Oh, good shout.
That's they are 3-0 up against West Ham. So you're doing
pitch me whatever the fuck you like.
Right. Well,
Sancho, good player. 4 minutes in and a goal. We love that.
No way. Yeah. They just didn't. People don't. Sometimes bassists don't fit in bands. Sometimes drummer can't keep time. Teams do what they've got to do to get by.
Don't call Jadon Sancho Tony McCarroll, you fucking dick.
Isn't it Tony the something McCarroll or something? I don't know. All had weird names.
Don't worry about that.
Right.
What are you going to pitch me, bro?
You go first.
Oh, okay. You seemed quite devilishly. I don't
know why I'm doing it. I just.
Hold on.
I feel like I feel like I owe you one. Because I've been very good to you. I feel
You're being very Joker. I feel like your scale for who's being good and when is fucking off as shit, mate. It's fucking mad.
All right, we want to talk about this, do we? I gave you Fresh Meat. You gave me Springsteen on Broadway. I gave you some kind of monster.
You just put a bit of sauce on both those things. I don't get it. What was that about? I think Springsteen on Broadway is a great pitch. I think we had a good time.
How long was it?
Oh, okay. So are we doing it purely on running times?
I don't know what we're doing.
Exactly. Okay, so
what else did I give you?
Yeah, talk about it.
I gave you a Neil Young album.
By the way, I'm not saying you've been bad. I'm just saying every week it's like I'm a.
You gave me Eras Tour.
I mean, we had to do it. That felt like it was a cultural moment in time. It was the era. She'd just broken the record.
Yeah.
Listen.
Okay. Anyway, I don't know why I'm trying to justify what I'm going to do, but this is going to be one of those rare occasions, Jeffrey, and I've done it in the past. Very, very rarely do I ever do it. That I am pitching you something that I have no intention of ever watching myself.
The podcast community is skeptical and is.
I've done
worried.
this once before, I think, and I did it with an Ed Sheeran movie. No, it wasn't an Ed Sheeran movie. It was a Ed
Sheeran album.
Didn't I pitch that movie thing? I pitched both of these. Guy writes all the Beatles songs. What's that movie we did?
The guy. Oh, Yesterday.
Shout
the fuck out, Yesterday. Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, this podcast has been going on for a while, hasn't it?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle back.
Mm.
I'm going to circle all the way back.
I think we need to circle away from circling back at this stage.
Back to Black, which has just dropped on Netflix. The movie that received reviews.
Yeah, you got very hyped on sending me lots about. For some reason, this became a running joke of yours that people are shitting on Amy, and I don't know why. I was almost like,
no, they're not shitting on Amy. They're
alone.
shitting on Back to Black,
Amy,
the movie.
Oh, right, Back to Black, the movie.
So let's
Amy's the documentary.
You're not watching the
Let's
documentary.
Be very clear. Amy Winehouse biographical movie.
Yes.
That everyone shat on. Okay, great.
Yes.
It's on Netflix now.
It's dropped on Netflix soon, early.
dropped. Okay, let me fucking hell. No, that was okay. So that's interesting. So
I might, but I also very much might not watch it. So
okay, so you're putting it out there.
I'm putting it out there like you could sell it to me and maybe try and make me want to watch it, subject to your review. But I'm curious.
Subject to my review, and then you would then have to watch it off your own back to not review it. That's not happening. In this economy, in this attention economy.
Is this where you're going to pitch me the same thing? Have we ever done?
Fucking just
hashtag review one thing.
Back to Black special. Yeah, I'd be happy with it. No, I can't. I feel like hashtag review one thing is just so close that there's no need to do that to ourselves. Christopher, you're staying on Netflix because not going to make it this big combative thing, but there happens to be something that I've watched and I think you should watch now. And I saw it as a very hipster choice at one of my favorite cinemas, the Central Picture House. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm so glad I spent the money because it's a bit pricey, that cinema. But like, I'm not going to find that movie anywhere else. And then like a few weeks later, it's on Netflix. I'm like, what the fuck? Not that, I'm still happy I went to the cinema. But it's a weird choice.
You're always happy when you go to the cinema. Did you enjoy your 10th anniversary screening of Interstellar yesterday?
I didn't. You did reply to my B reel, but and you said happy 10 years, and I was like, what? No, it wasn't that. It was something else.
What was that?
The moment I took a picture was just a trailer for 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I'm way off there.
Right. I wanted to reply to happy 10 years. Thanks? ? Number 10 in films today, in fact. Christopher.
Oh, God.
Here's the little synopsis. Emotions run high when three estranged sisters reunite in a cramped New York City apartment to watch over their ailing father during his final days. Oh, yes, this is right up our street because the Netflix tags are understated, bittersweet, and emotional. It's time for you to watch the film with a 1 hour and 44-minute running time entitled His Three Daughters. That is where I'm taking you. That is where
Who's my director? What's happening?
Well, you've got Natasha Lyonne, Elizabeth Olsen, and Carrie Coon as the cast. So it's a pretty stellar cast. The director, and we will talk about on next week's episode, but it's a good time. And in terms of giving you nice things, I gave you the James Magnold quote. So, you know,
I feel like I'm aware of this. You've dropped this somewhere. You've Easter egged this.
Here or there, you had definitely missed a B-reel or two that I've wanted you to catch because it had, and this might have been a B-reel, to be fair. Okay. B-reel in the show notes. Christopher, if you get one more B-reel, because I think, you know, sometimes we like our private space that is B-reel. It's very intimate. Are you okay with a podcast listener following you on B-reel?
Of course,
because this is our people.
Yeah. Hey, no one else follows me apart from you. You're the only person I'm real with.
I'm sure other people follow you.
Do they see it then? They just don't post. But then if they don't post, they can't see it.
Oh, that's such a great question. Such a great existential question. If you don't post or even if you don't look at the app, are you on the app?
This is the bit.
If you're not on the app, are you on the app? Because I haven't been on Instagram for weeks until I just posted that thing. So have I been on the app? Because you have a profile.
Have you posted about a live stream?
Yeah, I posted about the live stream.
Really?
To zero fanfare. Yeah, I mean,
to zero fanfare.
Well, the thing is, unless you're a big podcast, if you are looking at your friend's Instagram to be like nice picture, I think my friend Aaron took a screenshot of the picture and then just did Millhouse hair on it and messaged it to me. So that's how people want to use it. They don't want to go from an Instagram post to like, oh fuck, I'm going to tune in for an hour and not scroll anymore. So fair enough to all of you not tuning in now.
Is our runtime too long, Jeffrey?
No, fuck it. They know what they're in for. It's in the name of the bloody show. Now, this is the end. This is the bit where I say goodbye and he says, take care. So goodbye.
and take care.